Peace be upon you. I am Raslan Fayed from Aslahiya Secondary School.
Yeah.
I'm going to revise Unit 5 for the 12th grade. Here, yes, we have a 12th grade core book, Unit 5, prepared by teacher Raslan Fayed. In this presentation, we are going to revise Unit 5, which is talking about, first of all, we have a reading comprehension, making friends. I'd like to start with this quotation. There are no strangers, only friends you haven't yet met. Yeah, in page number 48, we have here two texts, text A and text B. The idea here, it seems to be there is an argument about the main idea here about are internet friends real or not. We have here text A. We have here three ideas. According to text A, according to a new study of social networking sites, don't help people make close friends. The second idea, here, face-to-face contact is needed to form real relationships. Number 3, here, to form close friendship, we need to be able to trust other people. This is about text A. The main ideas in text B here, the writer gives a personal point of view about the internet friends. Number 2, the writer considers some people he has met online as his close friends because they have many interests in common. Number 3, according to the writers, their experience, friendship made online are just as real as the ones happen to make face-to-face. Let's turn to page number 49. We have a third activity. Replace the underlined parts of these sentences with words or phrases from the text. We have a text A and text B. Yeah. It's hard to describe what friendship is really like. Here the students need to find a word that almost have the same meaning as the underlined word, which is the nature of. Number 2, some people say that are you your friends but aren't really friends at all. Here the meaning of say, according to the text, is claim. He is just pretending to be friendly. His feelings aren't real. The meaning of real here, genuine. 150 is considered to be the largest number of friends here most people can have. The underlined word considered to be means regarded as. All my friends are approximately the same age. We have here approximately, it has so many meanings, but in text A, it gives the meaning of roughly. Text B, it was a long journey because we had to get to London by going through Paris. By going through means via. There is no way to be sure that what he says is true. Yeah, way to be sure means guarantee. My brother and I have a lot of ideas and opinions that we share. That we share means in common. We didn't plan or arrange to arrive at the same time. Didn't plan or arrange means happen to. The second activity, here we have read the text more carefully, text A and text B. Then decide whether the sentences below are true or false. Number 1, new research shows that online friendships are less real than ones with people you've actually met. This sentence, according to text A, true. The size of online friendship groups seems to be very different are from real life ones. According to text A, this sentence is false. Samuel Holiday wrote the report by himself. We need to concentrate on wrote the report by himself. By himself means alone. This sentence is false because in text B, in text A, the writer mentioned a word that means co-authors, which means he doesn't write the report by himself. The writer of text B would disagree with Samuel Holiday. This sentence true. The writer of text B has similar interest in most people. This sentence is false because he mentioned some people, not most people. The writer of text B keeps in touch with his or her old school friends. If we look at in touch with, keeps in touch with, means he stay in contact with his old school friends. This sentence is false because he mentioned that he hasn't seen or contacted for nearly 20 years. And we have here answer the following questions about text A, page number 48. Question number 1. What does the new study show? Or what does the new study here find out? It has found that social networking sites like Facebook and MySpace don't help people make more close friends. Number 2. What kind of websites are Facebook and MySpace according to text A? They are social networking sites. What kind of website are Facebook and MySpace? They are social networking sites. Question number 3. What word or phrase tells us that Dr. Samuel Holiday didn't wrote the report on his own? What word or phrase tells us that Dr. Samuel Holiday didn't write the report on his own or didn't write the report alone? We have here the word co-authors. He is one of the co-authors of the report. Here. B. Answer the following questions about text B, page number 48. Question number 1. Why doesn't the writer consider his old school friends as real friends? Why doesn't the writer consider or regarded his old school friends as real friends? Because he hasn't seen or contacted with them for nearly 20 years. The writer didn't see his old school friends or contact with them for nearly 20 years. Question number 2. What is the writer's view about friendship? What is the writer's view about friendship? Here, friendship made online are just as real as the ones we happen to make face to face. Here, he considered that the friendship made online are just as real as the ones we happen to make face to face. Now, let's turn now to page number 50. We have here reading passage number 2. Here in this paragraph, we have the first activity. Read the text quickly, then match the titles below with the tips in the text. Here, the students has to go through the five titles, then try to match each title with the suitable paragraph that relates to. In this text, here we have introduction, tip 1, tip 2, 3, 4, and 5. Each tip contains here situation and advice. The first one, here the main idea of this text, here it shows some tips for turning someone you know into a lasting friend. And the main idea of the text, here tips for turning someone you know into a lasting friend. Tip 1. Be interested. The writer mentioned in tip 1 how to be interested with someone you know, and he mentioned that you have to ask them questions, but don't get too personal at first. Tip 2. Don't let one mistake get in the way. The writer mentioned some mistakes that any new friend may be made here, and give the solution to or the advice for this mistake by asking us to give them an honest apology and to repeat the mistake for the next time you do. Be clear but not too demanding. Tip 4. Here, don't try too hard. And the last step is about keep secrets to yourself. These 5 tips here will turn someone you know into a lasting friend. The first activity. We have here some questions about the reading passage. Question number 1. Here, answer the following questions. What should you do to strengthen the relationship with your friend? What should you do to strengthen the relationship with your friends? Number 1, ask them questions, but don't get too personal at first. To strengthen the relationship with a new friend, you have to ask them questions, but don't get too personal at first. Question number 2. What should you do if you made something wrong here with your friend? What should you do if you made a mistake or something wrong with your friend? Here, I need to write the advice here for this situation. The writer advised us to give our new friend an honest apology and making the effort not to let it happen again. Here, for the response of the wrong, the mistake or the error, an honest apology and making the effort not to let it happen again. Question number 3. What are the 2 opposite ways of making arrangements that can harm a friendship? There are 2 opposite ways of making arrangements that can harm a friendship. The first way is forcing the other person to make all the decisions. Here, forcing the other person to make all the decisions. The writer gives us some example, like by saying things like, I don't mind, you choose, or whatever you need. The second way of making arrangements that can harm a friendship is, the other is being too particular and inflexible about what you want to happen or where or when. The other way of making arrangements that can harm a friendship is being too particular and inflexible about what you want to happen or where or when. Question number 4. What is the best way to make an arrangement? The best way to make an arrangement here, try to find a middle way between the 2 extremes. Here it means try to find middle way between the two opposite ideas. Try to find a middle way between the two extremes here. The last question, what happened if you pass on? What happened if you pass on your friend's secret to others? Yeah, the result will be the trust is broken between you and your new friend, and this kind of behavior can easily destroy a friendship over time. And what happened if you pass on your friend's secret to others? The trust is broken, and this kind of behavior can easily destroy a friendship over time. Yeah, the second part, the second question is complete the following sentences. We have here two questions. The student needs to complete them with sentences from the text. Complete. Number one, to show your acquaintances that you interest in their lives, you can. To show your acquaintances that you interest in their lives, you can. Here, you can ask them questions, but don't get too personal at first. Yeah, even more importantly, listen to their answers. How can I show an interest in someone's lives? By asking them questions, but don't get too personal at first. Even more importantly, listen to their answers. This is number one. Complete. Number two. If someone tells you a secret, it means that. In other words, what does it mean if someone tells you a secret? Complete. Here, they are confident that you won't tell anyone else. If someone tells you a secret, it means that they are confident, they are sure that you won't tell anyone else the secret. Part 3. Decide if the sentences are true or false. We have here two questions only about true or false. Let us start with number one. You should ask very personal questions to your friend at first. We need to concentrate here about ask very personal questions to your friend at first. This sentence is false because in the text the writer mentioned, but don't get too personal, not be very personal. Number 2, acquaintances are people who are our friends. Acquaintances are people who are our friends. According to this sentence is false because the writer mentioned that who aren't yet friends yet. According to the text, acquaintances aren't yet a friend at all. These are about 3 parts of the reading passage. Complete, answer, and decide whether the following true or false. The second section is about vocabulary. In this part, we have here 3 questions. We have here a question, match the words with their meanings, complete the sentences with a suitable word, and phrasal verbs. Here, the first one, the first activity, the students have to complete these sentences or match the words in the box with their meaning below. All the words in the box mentioned in Unit 5, initial, extremes, inflexible, lasting, in confidence, post, embrace, acquaintance. This activity is about the meaning. The student has to pick or choose the best word and write it beside its suitable meaning. Number 1, opposite ends means extremes. Opposite ends means extremes. Number 2, first. First means initial. First, initial. Number 3, continuing for a long time. Continuing for a long time means lasting. Number 4, not wanting to change. Not wanting to change mean inflexible. 5, secretly, in confidence. Number 6, show how good you are. Show how good you are بمعنى impress. Someone you know but not very well. Someone you know means acquaintance. Be too proud, the last one بمعنى post. The second exercise, complete the following sentences with words from the list. Complete these words mentioned in Unit 5. Lasting, acquaintances, initial, post, in confidence. This exercise depends on the meaning of the sentence and knowing the meaning of these words. Number 1, remember that many of your acquaintances will be your friends in the future. Remember that many of your acquaintances will be your friends in the future. As I mentioned, this exercise depends on the meaning of the sentence and the meaning of the words. It's a bad habit. Number 2, it's a bad habit too. That you are rich. We are going to choose the best word from the box. Bad habit to that you are rich to post. It's a bad habit to post that you are rich. Number 3, I have we have here a relationship with some of my old school friends. I have a lasting friendship. Lasting friendship. We have to mention here, lasting here is an adjective ends with ing. Don't forget what I've told is. What I've told is, so don't tell anyone. Don't forget what I've told is in confidence. The key word here, don't tell anyone. My impression that he is good. My initial impression that he is good. This is the first initial or the first impression that he is good. Now, this is about the second part of vocabulary, about complete the following sentences with words from the list: lasting, acquaintances, initial, post, in confidence. The third part is a very important part which is talking about here phrasal verbs. These phrasal verbs are mentioned in page number 53, exercise 7 and 8. Complete with suitable phrasal verbs from the box. All the words here mentioned in page number 53, exercise 7 and 8. Find out, stand out, carry on, pass on. We notice here that find followed with preposition out, stand out, carry on, pass on. All these words are fixed. Find out, stand out, carry on, and pass on. Also, this exercise depends on the meaning the students has to know the meaning of the sentence and the meaning of these words in order to complete them with a suitable meaning. Number one, don't secrets to another person. Don't pass on secrets to another person. Yeah, number one, don't pass on secrets to another person. Number two, I think the title or the heading should be in red to make it from the rest of the text. I think the title should be in red to make it stand out from the rest of the text. Number three, I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm sorry for interrupting, please, space. I'm sorry for interrupting, please, carry on. Number four, the last one, even if your friend doesn't, it can destroy your friendship. Even if your friend doesn't find out, it can destroy your friendship. This is the second part. We started with reading comprehension, part 2, vocabulary, and we reached to the third part about language. In this section, we have here 2 rules. Language in page, period 3. The first rule, page number 52 and 53, from exercise number 1 to exercise number 5. The first title of the language, adjectives with ing or past participle or verb 3. Some adjectives ends with ing or past participle. We have here the idea. The idea of the active and passive meaning. It relies the using of ing or past participle forms depends on the student has to, or the students have to differentiate between active and passive meaning may be difficult for some students. Let's start with this sentence. We have here, we drove to the house in weather. Here we need to differentiate if the sentence is active or passive. According to the weather, we drove to the house in weather. We have here 2 choices, freezing or frozen. We choose freezing. Why? Because the weather, this is the description of the sentence, the weather was making everything freeze. So, the sentence is active sentence. For the second time, we drove to the house in freezing weather. It means the weather was making everything freeze, so it's an active sentence. Because it's an active sentence, we use the adjective ending with ing form. Let's look at the second sentence. We saw a lot of plants. We saw a lot of plants, frozen plants. Why? Because this sentence is passive. It means that the plants here were made frozen by the weather. Because we describe here the object. This sentence is object. So it's a passive object because we describe an object. We have here 2 different sentences. In the first one, the sentence is active, so we use freezing. In the second sentence, plants are object. The sentence is passive, so we use past participle or form of the adjective. Let's turn back to page number 53, grammar rule, period 3, page number 53. Look at the examples, then circle the correct options to complete the grammar rules. Be careful, but don't be a demanding person. We note here we use ing ending with adjective ending with ing because the sentence is active voice. The second example, here the top 5 tips for turning someone you know into a lasting friend. The second sentence is also active sentence. Complete the grammar rule. Many adjectives are made of ing forms of verbs. This is the first part. When ing forms are used as adjectives, the meaning of the sentence is active sentences. The second rule, here, look at the examples, then correct the options to complete the grammar rule. Examples. Here are some tried and tested pieces of advice. Tried and tested piece of advice. We use here adjectives ending with past participle because the sentence is passive sentence. It was expensive to repair the broken window. Also, the second sentence is passive sentence. For that, we use adjective past participle. Complete the grammar rules. These nouns, adjectives, are made from the past participle forms of the verb. When past participles are used as adjectives, the meaning is passive. Now we have here another exercise. Circle the correct verb forms to complete the sentences. Here the students need to choose the best option according to the sentence if it is passive or active. In these sentences, the students have to differentiate active and passive sentences, then choose the best option. Here, number 1, scientists are worried about sea temperatures. If we look at this sentence, we need to concentrate on sea temperatures. We choose rising sea temperature. Scientists are worried about rising sea temperatures. This sentence is active sentence, so we choose rising. Number 2, could you help me search for my wallet? Look at the word wallet. This sentence is passive sentence, losing or lost. So we have to use lost wallet, not losing wallet, because the sentence is passive. The third one, we only offer replacement for the items. Returning or returned, the best choice is returned items. We say returned items, not returning items, because the sentence is passive sentence. The room was full of the sound of. The room was full of the sound of babies. Here, the sentence is active sentence because babies are the subject of the sentence. We choose crying babies, not cried babies. Number 5, I was really when I hear the news. In this sentence, I underline the pronoun I because this adjective describes me, the speaker. I was really disappointed. I was really disappointed because this sentence is passive sentence according to this. Some food nowadays is almost as good as fresh food. Here we describe the food. Do we have to say frozen food or freezing food? Food here object. So the sentence is passive, we choose frozen food, not freezing food. I think you will find this is quite a job. You will find it quite demanding job, not demanded job. We usually try to buy local products rather than ones. Look at the sentence. As you see, I underlined two words, products and ones, because ones refer to products. We usually try to buy local products rather than imported products because the sentence is passive one. His parents were angry for his results. Look at the word results. Yeah, it shows that his parents were angry for his disappointing results, not disappointed results. I hope, the last one, I hope she is successful in her career. In this sentence, it's a passive sentence, so we choosing career, not choosing career. If we look at these sentences, the students need to concentrate or to differentiate. If the sentence is active one, he has to use rising, the adjective ending with ing, but if the sentence is passive, he needs to choose the past participle adjectives. This is the first tool in page number 52 and 53 about adjectives endings with ing or past participle. The second rule in unit 5, under the title reduced relative clauses. I think this title is very important because it makes students to differentiate and know the rule. Reduced relative clauses, here it shows that reduced relative clauses يكون المطلوب حذف ضمائر الوصل من الجمل like who, which, and that. Reduced, be careful about the title. Reduced relative clauses who, which, and that. In this rule, we have here two kinds of sentences. Number one, maybe active sentences or passive sentences, and each one has its way to do. Active or passive sentences. Let's go through the examples. We have here page number 53, exercise number 1, period 4. Look at the example. Here, note the difference between number 1 and number 2. Students who talk during the exam will have to leave the room. Look how here we do this sentence. Students talking during the exam will have to leave the room. What are the changes for this sentence? We omit the relative pronoun who, and we add ing to the verb followed. We omit who and we add ing, then we completed the sentence without any changes. Students talking during the exam. Number 2, be careful about emails that claim to offer easy ways to make money. For the second sentence, then we omit the word that because it's the relative clause in this sentence, and we add ing for the verb followed. The changes here, we omit who or that, then we add the ing form for the verb. Now, grammar rule. What kind of clause is introduced in the first sentence of each pair? For this sentence and this sentence. This clause is called defining relative clauses. Defining relative clauses. Relative clauses here, who or that. Defining relative clauses. Defining relative clauses here, who or that. 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 Defi when these clauses are reduced, in the second sentence, here and here, which part do we take out? Which part do we omit from the sentence? We omit the relative pronouns. In these clauses, when these clauses are reduced in the second sentence, which part do we take out? We take out the relative pronouns who, which, or that. In these reduced relative clauses, which verb of the verb do we use? We use ing form. After we omit who and that, we use ing form. We add ing for the verb followed these pronouns. Last one. Is the meaning here? We concentrate on the meaning. Is the meaning of these sentences active or passive? Sure, it's active sentences because we have here who plus verb, that plus verb, and we didn't have relative pronouns followed by verbs to be and past participle. The second, we have here page number 54, exercise number 2. The sentence here, the exercise, rewrite the sentences using reduced relative clauses. Here, we need to concentrate on the underline, this sentence, reduced relative clauses. Rewrite, we need to rewrite these sentences using reduced relative clauses. First of all, we have here to concentrate on the relative clauses, who, which, or that. The passengers who want to continue their journey should wait at the bus stop opposite. Where the relative pronouns? We have here who. We need to omit the relative pronoun who, then add ing for the verb want. We write the sentence as passengers wanting to continue their journey should wait at the bus stop. What did we do? We omit the pronoun, the relative pronoun who, and add ing for the main verb want. The city center was full of cars, which we concentrate on which, we omit the relative pronoun which, then we make this verb, we turn this verb from past simple to present simple, to present, and add ing. Here we need to return this verb into infinitive verb, then add ing. The city center was full of cars blocking the street. Students who hope. Here we omit the word who and add ing for the verb. Be careful about the spelling of the word. We should here omit the letter E and ing. Students hoping to study science subjects need to a qualification in maths. 4. People who answered. The same as number 3. We omit the relative pronoun who. We make this verb answered answer, then we add ing. People answering the question. Last one, anyone who finds. Here we write it as anyone finding. That's all. The last part, look at the examples. These sentences are passive sentences. How did we know that? How do we know that these are passive sentences? We concentrate on the relative pronoun. What do these pronouns follow? They followed by verbs to be plus past participle. That shows that this sentence is passive. Sometimes people's real intentions are different from those that were first presented. We omit only that and where, then we rewrite the sentence without any changing in the main verb. The number of people who have been regarded. The number of people regarded. What did we do? We omit the relative pronoun who, then have, been, and we use the past participle without any changes, then we continued. Friendship which are made. Friendship made. We omit which and the helping verb are, then we complete the sentence. In these sentences, we omit the relative pronoun, verbs to be, and we continue the sentence without any changes. What kind of sentences of clause is included in the first sentence of each pair? These sentences called non-defining relative clauses. When these clauses are reduced, the second sentence, which part do we take out? Which part do we omit? Here, we omit the relative pronouns and the verbs to be. We omit the relative pronoun, that, who, and which, and the verbs to be. In these reduced relative clauses, which form of the verb do we use? We use the form past participle. The last one, is the meaning of these sentences active or passive? They are passive sentences. Now, look at these examples. All cars which have been parked. We omit the relative pronoun which, have been. Now, page number 54, exercise number 4. Rewrite the sentences using reduced relative clauses. Reduced relative clauses. Sentence number 1. All cars which have been parked outside this building will be taken away. First of all, you concentrate on the relative pronoun which. Here, which, we omit which, have been. All cars parked outside this building will be taken away. Number 2, the 2 people who were hurt in the accident were taken to hospital. We have here the pronoun, the relative pronoun who, and the verbs to be were. We omit them only, then we rewrite the sentence without any changes. The 2 people hurt in the accident were taken to hospital. Sentence number 3. Letters that are posted at the weekend may not arrive till the next Tuesday. Letters, we omit the relative pronouns that and the helping verb are. Letters posted, then we complete the sentence without any changes at the weekend. Number 4. We had dinner at a restaurant that had been recommended by a friend. This sentence is passive voice. We omit that, had been. We had dinner at a restaurant recommended by friends. Number 5. Applications which are received after the closing date will not be considered. Application received after the closing date will not be considered. Books that have been borrowed from the library must be returned before the end of term. Books borrowed, we omit the relative pronoun that, have been only. Books borrowed from the library must be returned. Thank you very much for listening to this lesson.